Hello everyone, I took some time off from running because I had to, so I pursued another hobby for a while. This is Bible Code Statistics. I'm Don Bickerdike, and let me just go over real briefly what is going on here in this matrix. All of the words in this, close to 100, would take one chance in over 11 quintillion to happen randomly. If you threw a bunch of tiles with characters and letters on a table or on the floor, you'd have to do that 11 quintillion times before you got this exact match. So the probability of this happening randomly is extremely low. It's based off of this middle word, October 13th of 2025, and October 13th is 3.5 years before Apophis, the asteroid, is supposed to strike the Earth or come close to it. Now, if you're concerned by that, certainly you can do some research on Apophis. NASA says it's going to miss us, it's not going to hit us. But if you are researching biblical prophecy, that might be very interesting to you also, because the word wormwood is also used in reference to that asteroid. Today is August 15th at the time of this filming, the same day that the Alaska 2025 summit is happening with President Trump and Vladimir Putin. So what's also interesting is September 23rd is shown here, and that is of 2025. That's when the UN is expected to have a peace signing. It's also the Feast of Trumpets. So those are interesting dates. What's also interesting is 2,550 days after September 23rd is September 15th, the 10th of Tishri, which will be Yom Kippur in approximately 7 years. That's also prophetic, in my opinion. All of the words that are found in this grid that you'll see are from the book of Numbers, chapters 31 and 32. Let me just show you that grid real quick. You can see all of the highlighted characters in the Hebrew that represent the majority of the words that are in this matrix. Now what's interesting, the word treaty is reoccurring. I only put a few representations of this up, but the word treaty, I like to find ones that are unique, that have a unique representation. But it appears to cross right here. Now, if we're looking right in this area and we go back to our other slide, that's going to be right around here, September 15th. It's just above it crisscrosses. I don't know if and when a second peace treaty meeting will happen, pursuing peace. I don't know because the information is not available at the time of this video. They have not come out of their meeting yet at the time of me making this video. But it is interesting that those words are shown and crisscross right here. In order to have a treaty, you have to have some kind of leverage. Now, the war going on between Russia and Ukraine appears to involve a lot of issues. And strategically, it appears that President Trump has been negotiating with various countries, almost like a chess match, making certain moves in certain orders with certain countries. You can see in blue we have Chinese, we have Russia, we have Ukraine, we have India, Iran, Egypt. There are probably more countries in here. I didn't look for all the countries, but these seem to be interesting countries, and I entered them in and they showed up in this grid. We also have NATO. I put in Alpha and Omega. They crisscross right here. Alpha straight, Omega goes down at an angle, and Messianic. I put an arrow here to show that they converge right here. Alpha, Omega, and Messianic. Prophetic concession is here also. Now, anytime you're negotiating a peace treaty, There may be some withdrawal. There might be some surrender involved. Now, NATO does supply the United States with quite a bit of funding so that we can help support Ukraine with defending themselves. So we actually benefit from this war, but obviously President Trump has said he wants to stop the killing. So how do you negotiate and what do you use for leverage? Well, one of the things that everyone appears to want are the rare elements, the minerals. We've got mineral here, we've got manganese, lithium, we have nickel, metal. I didn't check for all the metals, but I even put in digital. And one of the ways that you can get both sides to share or surrender is to show them that it would be beneficial economically for them. The profit, sharing the land, sharing the spoils. I'm not sure how President Trump will go about trying to negotiate this, but we do have surrender and we have sacrifice listed in here. And if everyone feels like they're a little bit shortchanged, then that might be the grounds for an agreement, because sharing the profit, sharing the benefits is a lot better than losing all of your soldiers and your economy. So it sounds like they might come to an economic and reasonable negotiation, understanding overall that the war's not benefiting anyone, at least not between the two, Russia and Ukraine. But also, what other kind of leverage do we have? Well, I mentioned earlier, if there is a threat to the entire world, then that might be reason for us to join together. Now, the reason we need these minerals, in part, is for a lot of things. We need them for weapons, we need them for vehicles, for special batteries, for electric vehicles and electronics. We need them for artificial intelligence. We need them to create better technology. And ultimately, it's about gaining power and winning the race of power, being on top. But what good is it to be on top if you get wiped out by an asteroid? Well, that might be a good reason that we all join together to try to figure that out. Now, Wormwood shows up in this same matrix several times. There's destruction, storms. Again, this is another October. This is October 13th, 2025. This is the same matrix, and these words are in it. Annihilation. Now, some leaders may want to have a legacy. They may want to prove a legacy by trying to divert this destruction and annihilation. But here we are. NASA has said that they anticipate that Apophis will come close to the Earth in April of 2029. How close? I think they need to recalculate maybe. Maybe they need more information, but apparently it's pretty close, enough for them to possibly even send out probes to find out more information and maybe attempt to reroute that asteroid. So this is where we're at. I'll probably put a book together about this. I just thought it was interesting enough to share with you. If you have some comments, put your comments in the comment area. I'd love to hear your comments on this. I'd love to hear more about what you know. Until next time, this is Don Bickerdike with Bible Code Statistics.